Before he became one of the most recognized voices in wellness and purpose-driven living, Jay Shetty was just a 21-year-old business student in London, wearing suits, chasing status, and doing everything right by society's standards. But one day he attended a talk by a Hindu monk that changed everything. Something about that monk's peace, his stillness, his clarity, hit Jay deeply. While his classmates were applying to corporate jobs, Jay flew to India and lived in an ashram. He woke up at 4 a.m., meditated for hours, served others, and studied timeless wisdom. For 3 years, he trained to think like a monk. Fast forward a decade, Jay is now a global best-selling author, podcast host, speaker, and coach to celebrities like Kobe Bryant, Selena Gomez, and Will Smith. He has over 50 million followers, a #1 podcast, On Purpose, and a mission to help people find peace in a noisy world. But here's the twist. He didn't build all that by chasing fame. He built it by living like a monk, or more specifically, thinking like one. And in his book, Think Like a Monk, he shares exactly how we can apply ancient monk wisdom to modern life, without giving up our jobs, without moving to India, just by learning how to quiet the noise and listen to what truly matters. Jay starts the book with a bold claim. You don't have to live like a monk to think like one. What monks learn in years of silence, stillness, and spiritual discipline can be applied by anyone, anywhere. And it all begins with identity. So many of us are living lives that aren't really ours. We follow scripts, chasing money, status, relationships, because that's what we think we're supposed to do. But deep down, we're disconnected. We don't know who we are. Shetty calls this the monkey mind, constantly distracted, anxious, comparing, overthinking. The monk mindset, in contrast, is intentional, clear, rooted in purpose, and the journey to that mindset begins with letting go of ego, letting go of fear, letting go of comparison. Jay explains that when we start removing what's not truly us, what remains is clarity. In the monastery, he learned the power of detachment, not from people or goals, but from outcomes. You can give your all to something, but release the need to control the result. That's freedom. One of the most powerful ideas in the book is about finding your dharma, a Sanskrit word meaning your purpose, your unique calling. Jay breaks it down with a simple formula: passion plus expertise plus usefulness equals dharma. He encourages readers to reflect on what they love, what they're good at, and how that can serve others. Purpose, he says, isn't found. It's built by showing up every day and giving your energy to things that matter. But before we get to purpose, we have to silence the noise. Jay introduces practices monks use to calm the mind: breathwork, stillness, and focus. One exercise he shares is the spot, stop, swap technique. Spot a negative thought, stop to acknowledge it, and then swap it with a more constructive one. Simple, but powerful. And this applies everywhere. In your relationships, your job, even your self-talk. We speak to ourselves more than anyone else. So, how do we sound? Encouraging or cruel? Jay challenges us to speak to ourselves like someone we love. You wouldn't tell your best friend they're worthless or behind in life, so why do we say that to ourselves? Another key section of the book is about fear. Shetty writes, "We are not afraid of the dark. We're afraid of what it says about us." He walks us through the types of fear: fear of failure, rejection, being alone, and shows how most of it comes from attachment to outcomes or identity. But when you root yourself in service and self-awareness, fear loses its grip. There's a beautiful story in the book where Jay shares how he froze before giving his first talk at a school. His heart pounded, his hands shook, but then he remembered, it's not about him, it's about them. When you shift from ego to service, fear transforms into purpose. And this shift shows up in our relationships too. One chapter breaks down how monks practice love, not as passion or possession, but as presence. Monks teach that love is not what you feel, it's what you give. It's how you listen, how you show up consistently. Jay brings this into the modern world with tips on how to stop chasing the perfect partner and start becoming one. He also reminds us that alone doesn't mean lonely. Monks spend hours in solitude, but they're not disconnected. In fact, they're deeply connected to themselves, to nature, to others through compassion. That solitude helps them reset, recharge, and recenter. In a world addicted to noise and validation, solitude is a radical act. Jay encourages us to create time every day, even 10 minutes to sit in silence, not to scroll, not to escape, but to just be. That's where the mind starts to calm. That's where insight starts to grow. One of the most practical sections in the book is about routine. Monks don't leave their day to chance, they design it. And Jay gives us a framework to build our own monk-style routine with the TIME acronym. Thankfulness. Start with gratitude. Insight. Read or learn something meaningful. Meditation. Practice breath or stillness. Exercise. Move your body. Even 10 to 15 minutes of each can transform your morning and how you show up the rest of the day. Another surprising insight in the book is about wealth and success. Jay doesn't shame ambition, but he asks us to define success on our own terms. Do we want wealth because it aligns with our values, or because we think it'll make us feel worthy? Monks teach that real richness is peace of mind, and any outer success is empty without that. There's a powerful section where Jay talks about negativity and energy. He introduces the concept of energy vampires, people, habits, even thoughts that drain us. The solution? Not avoidance, but boundaries. Compassion doesn't mean burnout. You can love someone and still protect your peace. One of the most beautiful tools in the book is the purpose journal. Jay suggests writing down 3 things every day: what you did well, what you learned, how you served. Over time, this trains your mind to focus on growth and contribution, not just results. And speaking of service, that's how the book ends, with a call to live a life that's not just about achievement, but about meaning. In monk tradition, the highest goal isn't happiness, it's peace. And peace comes from giving, helping, uplifting. Jay shares stories of monks who had nothing, but gave everything: smiles, kindness, presence. And he reminds us, you don't have to change the world to make a difference. Sometimes holding space for someone, truly listening, or simply being kind, that's enough. So, what does it mean to think like a monk? It means slowing down, letting go, choosing presence over pressure, purpose over popularity, peace over performance. It means training your mind, healing your heart, and aligning your daily life with your deeper values. You don't have to go live in a monastery. You can practice this right where you are, one breath, one intention, one mindful moment at a time. So here's your invitation. Pause, reflect, ask yourself, what am I chasing? And more importantly, who am I becoming? If this message gave you even a moment of peace or clarity, I invite you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon so you don't miss the next powerful book summary. And let's talk in the comments. What's one monk habit you want to try this week? Meditation? Gratitude? Silence? Let's grow together, one grounded step at a time. Because when you think like a monk, you don't escape the world. You just learn how to move through it with purpose, presence, and peace.